here. See you.
Congratulations on 10 years at Manchester City, an absolute legend. It's been a pleasure to watch you play, to win all them trophies and be without doubt the best midfielder in the Premier League. We're going to miss you, but I wish you all the best in the future.
You have brought a lot of success into this football club. It's been a joy watching you playing, and of course for me it's been an honor playing with you during my time at the club. So I wish you and your family all the very best in the next chapter. Good luck, top man, and oh Kevin De Bruyne.
Oh Kevin De Bruyne. Hey Kevin, you came, you saw, and you conquered. One of the greatest to ever play in the Premier League. It's my absolute honour to share the field with you. My absolute privilege to have you as a friend.
Congratulations on everything you've achieved. And left big legacy that will be remembered forever at the club.
True City legend. Thank you for all the memories. Thank you for all the trophies. It's been a privilege and an honour to share the pitch with you. Enjoy everything right now, everything that comes after, and remember, you're a legend of this club forever.
Football club and what this stadium means to you?
Manchester is home. Manchester is where these little kids are born. I came here with my wife Michelle to stay for a long time. Didn't expect to be here 10 years to do what we have done as a club, supporters, my teammates. We've won everything. The city, the club bigger, and now they're going to take over.
Are you proud not only of the legacy that you're leaving behind in terms of trophies, but in the way that you have played the game?
I wanted to play with creativity. I wanted to play with passion. I wanted to enjoy football, and I hoped, and I think everybody enjoyed it. And this. Everybody has pushed me so hard from inside and outside the club to be the best version of myself, and these guys, everybody we see on the screen and these guys in front of me, they've made me so much better than I was before, and it's been an absolute honor to play with these guys. I've made so many friends for life, and you know, we all together. We'll be back for sure soon, whenever.
Kevin, we've enjoyed it and more. You mean the heartbeat of this team. We thank you endlessly. How do you hope these fans here remember you?
No, like I said, with joy. You know, this team tries to entertain people and win. This team works incredible hard, everybody behind the scenes and on the pitch. And this team want to win. They will win in the future with me or without me. And I know everybody in the city and these supporters will be behind the team like they've done with me in the last 10 years. And this team will have more success, that's for sure.
When you arrived here, we knew you were an unbelievable talent. Now you're leaving as a genuine legend. Did you ever dream of how well it would go?
Oh, you just want to do well and win, and then when you win, you want to win more, and you want to push the city. And
Manchester City, and so ultimate bomb or some 3-1 Nemum, Huma Mamus was a goal of the season. Oh, yes, was a goal be able to go with Bono Equatoy. Sesi America say was 7 goals. 2 assists since about January. No me patro more say Egyptian no. No more more and so my club no anu ehini go we there. Mr. Ramon goal of the season. Edu ba bi on say players be crowd on say go muti because some back one ba bi ogina and ba bi the ball eto ya. Na chese nyasem kitwa kra enu Manchester City. Na me patro ma me Kevin De Bruyne images ni be because enra na De Bruyne's day. Ewo City or Manchester. UPM and so it out stadium images ni be and I will share me patron we kura no the video ho achesem fama me achesa Brunye no lazy the boot bibia so ye kama ayade and right Man City for about after 10 years and so our club no mo tire do at my Brunye for the Kevin De Bruyne and no ba game no ba na wie ye ni nyina no Kevin De Bruyne and the man in the yire me patron images ni be and ye don send p and so emamo edu ba bi na ayesun ye njo no feed no na ye Kevin De Bruyne ayade de nra City and so Emano.
That the stands are still full because again he's delighted us with his quality of football, and I think this is a special moment for him, his family. I'm amazed that he's kept the tears at bay. Yes. I remember when I finished.
Listen, the light show's about to begin, so let me hand you back to Alistair, man. He'll be able to guide you through all we're about to see, and hopefully he'll be able to bring you some live feed as well of what you can hear on the pitch.
Yeah, thank you, Kel. The light show has begun. The City players and all the staff are gathered to the side.
The Brunye was a Guardiola Isu and na Ayesu Guardiola near Osun or Jacqueline Sana Osun 10 years why you be Ediama City over 177 assists and a branch and Aye Eddie Amomo or 19 trophies and a branch and Aje and Eddie Amomo na Enra Manchester City Omosio me patro Ayadia club and chairman Edda branch and I say Omoma Sergio Aguero ewo video and so our giant screen our stadium and more mabebo board Yama City Omuina Kabibi Edema a branch for the Kevin De Bruyne Emra all share television so na all giant screen no na omodanasi
associated with this great club. Thank you. Thank you for 10 amazing years. Thank you for the 19 trophies you lifted for this club. Thank you for all the assists, for all the goals. Good luck, and thank you very much from the bottom of my heart.
Hi Kevin, congratulations for your career. It was an honor to play with you. And I wish you all the best, my friend. And of course, you are a legend at Manchester City. See you all.
You've been an absolute fantastic servant to this club and also added a reputation.
Kevin De Bruyne, Eduba Bina Yesu, Yamana Basso, because Premier League in his house here, one of the best. Fernandino near Oye Fernandino, Casana Pep, Wafe Fernandino, so, and Crano Mama Pep Guardiola, and so you're successful, Premier League, and a Champions League, our JJ, and then they, Yajomon Koma, Yajomon Semno, Mamo, Ewutumadi, Swamania, transferring Sanipi, and some Mamo Elba will be a Kevin, De Bruyne, and Maurice Pepper didn't come over, and some Eddie Afano, Yababa Bedi, a sound common be pre, Nemum, Yenti first on the Pep, and so Kaye, or say a sal day, and so Edema City, because I'm Ranajo, not just a branch and so Echo, or did you pass, there's a branch in the piano, why Edema Football Club City.
With Kevin De Bruyne, you know, say, now I must say goodbye, Eddie Amano. And say, anybody brain, of course, so we focus said the man can Kev, of course. Anybody brain, I course for Eddie Amano Kevin De Bruyne. One of the good news, and I say, Rodri Cascante, Ballon d'Or winner, or your back, and then Obenya Quenya Bobo, bro, ye Haaland free on the 82nd minute. Ball kakra. So Rodri is back. And City, of course, must also in 3 points. Kevin De Bruyne, and Shayman Kadoun, Al Mubarak. And so the Kevin De Bruyne Corans. No, so well, very mosaic be at the avant, just like what they normally do for Manchester City legends. What I say, into my be avant, they are trying to start you know so and they area game, you know, mama players, you know, former Manchester City players, so many Kevin De Bruyne ball, no, ja ubia kasa na what can we be Eddie check Kevin De Bruyne, and then man, oh, very emotional scene, very, very emotional, you know, those players are. So when they supporters, you know, it be share Kevin De Bruyne Max, it be share the JC, Chese, and then the entire place in the park, no swa, or would say, be about Kevin De Bruyne, Kevin De Bruyne, Kevin De Bruyne. As I saw with you from the supporters' perspective, me, be woman, as a committee, me. Anyway.
He wanted to stay, but Manchester City wanted him out. That's right. Kevin De Bruyne wanted to remain at City, but he was no longer in Guardiola's plans, and that's why he will leave next month. In an interview, he revealed that he was even willing to accept the same salary to stay. There was a bit of surprise when I found out. I hadn't received any renewal offer all year, and Manchester City made their decision. Obviously, I was surprised, but I have to accept it. Honestly, I still believe I can perform at a high level, but I understand that clubs have to make decisions. I know I'm not 25 anymore, but I still feel capable of doing my job. I'm open to any offer. I'll make the decision that makes the most sense for my family. I can't reveal why they decided to let me go. At the end of the day, for them, it's just business. It wasn't really a long conversation. They simply told me I was no longer in their plans. Even so, I believe I can still do my job well. Time will tell if City made the right call.
True City legend. Thank you for all the memories, thank you for all the trophies, and it's been a privilege and an honor to share the pitch with you. Enjoy everything right now, everything that comes after, and remember, you're a legend of this club forever.
Just to congratulate you on your career at Man City. I had this chance to coach you, and I've said it so many times, one of, if not the most clever player I've ever managed. Well, if I can say managed, I was an assistant. But anyway, one thing is for sure, I would have loved to play with you.
Kevin, on behalf of Sheikh Mansour and on behalf of every person associated with this great club, thank you. Thank you for 10 amazing years. Thank you for the 19 trophies you've lifted for this club. Thank you for all the assists, for all the goals. Good luck, and thank you very much from the bottom of my heart.
Just want to say thank you for everything you have done for this club. Thank you for everything you have done for me for many years. For me, it was a pleasure to play alongside you, to learn from you, and to watch you inside the pitch, off the pitch, and the most important, to be your teammate and learn from you for many aspects. I just want to say all the very best for you, for your family, for Michelle and for the kids, because you deserve all the best. Enjoy this new chapter of your life and be happy, my friend.
You've been an absolute fantastic servant to this club, and you've also had the reputation you've given to people. It's the way you play your football as well, which is wonderful to watch. So listen, good luck in whatever you do.
Hi Kevin, congratulations for your career, and what was an honor to play with you. And I wish you all the best, my friend. And of course, you are a legend in Manchester City. See you all.
Kevin, it is Saba. I wanted to say thank you so much, May, for your massive contribution that you have given to Manchester City over the years. You have brought a lot of success into this football club. It's been a joy watching you playing, and of course, for me, it's been an honor playing with you during my time at the club. So I wish you and your family all the very best in the next chapter. Good luck, top man. And oh, Kevin De Bruyne.
Oh, Kevin De Bruyne. Hey, Kevin. You came, you saw, and you conquered. One of the greatest to ever play in the Premier League. It is my absolute honor to share the field with you. my absolute privilege to have you as a friend. You're a beautiful man with a beautiful family. I wish you nothing but love and happiness for the rest of your life. Good luck for the future. I look forward to seeing you soon.
Congratulations on everything you've achieved. You've left a big legacy that will be remembered and for forever at the
I have
club.
so much respect for what you have done for this club. You're an amazing player, but most important, you're an amazing person with a beautiful family. It was an honor to share the pitch with you, and I only wish the best for you and your family, and take care. See you.
Hey Kev, just wanted to say congrats on your incredible journey at City. You have made history in this club and this league, and it was an honor and a pleasure to share some of the road with you. Wishing you all the best for what is next for you, and enjoy.
Yes, Kevlar, it's Raheem here. Just wanted to send you a message and a little bit of love. Obviously arriving to the club at the same time, same summer. We spent a lot of time together, our families together, and you know, I know how much of a wonderful person you are. Top guy. Don't say much, but when he does, it's, you know, it's normally funny. But over the last, I'd say 10 years at City, you know, what you have achieved is quite incredible. How you've led the team.
Dear Kevin De Bruyne, maybe the greatest midfielder of the modern era, to some the greatest player to ever grace the Premier League, a footballing fairy tale, defined by titles, success and glory. But in reality, his story started as a nightmare, filled with betrayal, heartbreak and tragedy. Because Kevin De Bruyne was the shy and quiet kid, and because of this, he was often misunderstood. But beneath that shy quietness lied a hunger and desire to become great. At 14 years old, he left his home to join Genk's academy, where he would live with a foster family. He trained hard and excelled on the pitch, but after a year, he got the phone call that would change his entire life.
I come home and my parents were like sad, crying, and I'm like, what's wrong? The foster parents don't want you to come back anymore. I'm like, why? Because of who you are. I'm like, what? Yeah, you're difficult to handle, you're very quiet. They just find you difficult. As a 16-year-old, 15-year-old, you're like, yeah, it's not nice to hear, because a lot of time in the beginning of my career, I've been given the word like I'm a difficult person, but in the end, I'm just a quiet person, shy person. And that's been given to me as difficult, so in the end you're like...
This moment could have crushed him, but instead it ignited a fire. And Kevin made a promise to his mother, saying, I'll be in the first team soon. Then everything will change. 1 month later, he was in Genk's first team. The foster family would then come back, but by that time Kevin had moved on. Still, he would later go on to call this period the loneliest time of his life. Because all he had was football. And by 19, he was his nation's brightest star, leading Genk to the Belgian title. The world took notice, and in 2012, Chelsea came calling. The dream of performing on the biggest stage was about to come true, until reality came through. Because the Champions League winning Chelsea side barely gave him a chance. He was left on the bench and then loaned out to Werder Bremen. And the tabloids of De Bruyne not being good enough for the Premier League started spreading. In many ways, it reminded him of his childhood, being cast out and fighting for acceptance. But his battles weren't only on the pitch, because outside of it, he was being betrayed. In early 2013, his girlfriend at the time went on a girls' trip to Madrid. There, she met Thibaut Courtois, Kevin's countryman and teammate. And when the media found out, the whole situation just became a public humiliation. Imagine being 21 years old, you're left on the bench, heartbroken, and somehow you have to keep going, with the whole world watching. Most men would have crumbled, but Kevin locked in even harder and turned his pain into fuel. In 2014, he left Chelsea and moved to Wolfsburg in Germany. He was now 23 years old, and this would be his big break. Because Kevin De Bruyne was done being cast aside. This was for everyone who doubted him, from foster families who gave up on him, to the girlfriends who cheated on him, to the best friends who betrayed him, and the coaches who never believed in him. Because in Wolfsburg, Kevin De Bruyne racked up goals, assists, and even records. The Bundesliga couldn't even believe it. Was this really the same kid they said wasn't good enough for the Premier League? Because De Bruyne wasn't just playing football, he was rewriting his story. And through it, Wolfsburg would fly into new heights, carried by his brilliance. And in 2015, he was crowned Bundesliga Player of the Year. No longer a reject, but instead one of Europe's very elite. But just as his career truly took off, fate dealt him another heartbreak. This time, the worst kind. Because in January 2015, one of his best friends, his Wolfsburg teammate, Junior Malanda, sadly passed away in a car accident, just 20 years old. One of Belgium's brightest talents. Just hours before, Kevin had spoken to him, and now he was gone, without any warning and no goodbye. And in the midst of a career-defining season, Kevin had to keep on playing with a heavy heart, without his brother by his side. But he carried Malanda's memory with him, turning sorrow into strength once again. For every assist and every goal became a tribute to his friend in the heavens. And just weeks after the tragedy, Kevin would go on to destroy Bayern Munich 4-1. Scoring twice. And by the end of that season, he had led Wolfsburg to the second place in the Bundesliga, also winning the German Cup that year. And by now, the world knew that Kevin De Bruyne was special. In the summer of 2015, Manchester City came calling, a record transfer and a new chapter. Still, the pundits only remembered him as the Chelsea reject. They called him overpriced, a possible flop. But once again, Kevin didn't respond with words. He let his football speak for itself. And in the blue side of Manchester, he transcended. The flame that had burned for years in the quiet now ignited the Premier League every single week. He threaded passes that defied vision, launched thunderbolt strikes, and engineered comebacks from sheer nothingness. The Etihad crowd fell in love with him, a genius who played like a man possessed by the purest love for the game. Season after season, De Bruyne elevated City to unprecedented heights. Premier League title after title, FA Cups, League Cups, Community Shields, and individual honors galore. He also led Belgium's golden generation to a World Cup bronze, etching his legacy onto the international stage. But one ghost remained, the one that haunted the entire Blue Moon, the Champions League. And in 2021, he would lead City to the final, where he would face his former club, Chelsea. This was the moment to finally cement himself in the history books forever, against a club that never valued him. But unfortunately, he had to leave the pitch in tears after sustaining an injury. And with one step away, Man City fell short on the biggest stage. A heartbreaking loss for De Bruyne professionally, but personally, he was grieving once again. Because just 1 year earlier, he had lost another close friend. Anel Ngongsa, the South African footballer, and Kevin's former teammate at Genk, and one of his best friends at that time, also passed away. These are the kind of struggles that the media never talked about, that Kevin had to fight in silence. And once again, he had to rise up and keep going. In 2022, Manchester City were seconds away from the Champions League final. They were leading 5-3 against Real Madrid on aggregate in the semi-final, when from out of nowhere, with seconds left of the game, Rodrigo scored 2 miraculous goals for Real Madrid, taking the game to extra time, where Real Madrid killed off the game and went on to win the Champions League for the 14th time. And at this point, no one thought that the Champions League title would be won by either De Bruyne or Manchester City. It felt like the Champions League title was a curse that never would break. But what defines a true champion is the ability to keep turning all of those setbacks and heartbreaks into something great. And in the 2022-23 season, Manchester City would embark on one of the most dominant seasons in football history, winning the Premier League, the FA Cup, and in the Champions League semi-final, where Real Madrid waited again, they would destroy them. 4-0 at the Etihad, 5-1 in total, with De Bruyne scoring a thunderbolt in the first leg. And finally, after years of heartbreak, they climbed Europe's football Everest, winning the Champions League, completing the treble. Only the second English club in history to do so. And yes, Kevin De Bruyne was injured in the final once again, but this time it didn't matter, because he had already carried them there, pulling the strings, dictating the tempo, assisting, leading, and just being untouchable. This was his masterpiece, by the boy once cast aside, who was now the driving force behind one of the greatest teams the game has ever seen. But now, after a decade at Manchester City, the journey has come to an end. Because in recent seasons, the injuries have increased, the recoveries have taken longer, and the spark that once lit up every pitch has slowly begun to fade. So as Kevin De Bruyne says goodbye, we remember what his story taught us. The story of a boy once cast aside for being too quiet, who became the man who let his actions roar louder than any words, rejected by clubs, who faced loneliness as a child, heartbreak and loss as a man, and paid the ultimate price of the physical tolls of a sport that never goes easy on greatness. But through it all, he transformed every wound into art, every setback into fuel, every silence into statement. Kevin De Bruyne didn't just play the game, he redefined it. And in doing so, he lit a path for every quiet kid with a dream, proving that sometimes the ones who speak the least leave the loudest legacy. Because when Kevin De Bruyne leaves the Blue Moon for the very last time, he leaves behind more than just records and trophies. He leaves an inspiration, proving that a true champion's heart is measured not just by glory, but by the courage to keep on going when the night is the darkest. Because the quiet flame that the Belgian boy once carried inside would come to burn so bright that it lit up the entire world. Because in the end, Kevin De Bruyne showed us that the toughest journeys, filled with trials and tribulations, are often the ones that lead to the most extraordinary destinations.